Understanding personality type can aid individuals and leaders or managers in establishing a productive and cooperative work environment. Each MBTI preference has effects for work solutions and situations. Each set of preferences has effects on the work environments. And extroversion, they're the people who really enjoy being with people. They like to participate actively in many different tasks, a variety quickly, almost as if they're multitasking. And they get very impatient when they are given a very long job that may seem slow. They're interested in activities of their work and how people do them, although sometimes they do act without thinking because they tend to act very quickly. They enjoy phone calls and people knocking on their doors because it is a wonderful diversion when they work on a task, and it helps them to really develop ideas because they do work through ideas by discussing things with them. They work through their ideas verbally. They love having people around them. An introvert is quiet. They need a private space for concentration. They need a lot of times to be reflective. And they tend to be most comfortable when they can work on one project for a great amount of time, and they like to not be interrupted. They love facts and ideas, and they like to think before they act. They find any kind of intrusion from others, whether that be someone knocking on their office door or even a phone call, to be intrusive. They will develop mostly through reflection independently by themselves. Sensing people like to experience very wonderful ways to solve problems. They are experience-oriented, and they like to apply skills that they've already perfected and used. They very rarely will make errors in their facts, but they tend to ignore inspirations. They like to do things very practically, and they want to present the details of their work first. They like to work of what is through a very methodical step-by-step process. Intuitive people prefer more new and complex problems. They enjoy problem solving, and they enjoy a challenge and the trial of starting and learning something new. They rarely will ignore insights, but sometimes they miss a fact or two. They like to do things when they are innovative. It is their best thing. They prefer change. Sometimes it's radical, and they are going to work in bursts of energy throughout their day. A thinking person uses logical analysis. They're going to work in great concentration. They like to focus on a task. They get upset, or they tend to upset others when they overlook the emotions of other people. Remember that they tend to look more on facts, figures, and ideas more than people. So they tend to be very, very determined in their own world. They're principle oriented, and they like to have some recognition for what they've done. In contrast, a feeling person is very value oriented, and they are always going to look at how anything, especially decisions, really impact other people. They need a foundation of harmony, and they're not going to work well unless there is harmony in their area. They like to be sympathetic, and they are not going to want to tell anybody anything that is unpleasant or not kind. They will always look at the values in every situation, their values, including the values of other people, and they would prefer to have some appreciation for some of the things that they do. Lastly, we have the preferences of judging and perceiving. Judging are going to work best when they are planning. Remember that judges are planners. They like to organize and plan just about anything, and they're very future oriented. This means that they're going to look at where things go. They have goals, structures, schedules. They're quick to decide, and they're going to always focus on what needs to be done, generally through a list of tasks. Perceiving people are more flexible. They are present-oriented. They like to start things right away, but then they're going to leave them until the last minute because they tend to be a little more procrastinating. They are going to be open to just about anything. They like change, and they're going to postpone any kind of decision until the last minute. Now, they're not very list-oriented. They don't really care for anything written down, and this is because all it does is remind them of what they haven't completed.